Well, I haven't done a Games Workshop figure for a while. Been too busy on craft just lately, haven't I? And Star Wars figures. So I wanted another Age of Sigmar, but not Sylvaneth. Yeah, I'm enjoying it, but I need a break from just painting bark and leaves, but still be colourful. And I've decided to go for from their Seraphon race. This fella. Who I've liked since back in the day when it was a white metal miniature, much smaller, and I've toyed with the idea of having a Seraphon army. I mean, you know, you've got lizards riding dinosaurs. I mean, what's not to like? But something about their dinosaurs, the sculptures are good and the detail's great. But if you look at them, an awful lot of them, the way they've done their mouths, it looks like they're smiling. They're very happy dinosaurs, and that kind of puts me off. But I do like these frog creatures, and especially this one. There's a much bigger one, Lord Croak or something, who I will be doing. So this is like a rehearsal just to see how things are and decide what on earth you're going to do with these little skink creatures, which are usually bright blue, which I don't like. It's like something from a 60s Disney cartoon. So yeah, so this is an unboxing today. So let's unbox. There he is. Yeah, as I say, I want to do something colourful, but also have the challenge of just what colour I'm going to do him, because anything like this, it's like what colour you do the base dictates the skin, what colour you do the skin dictates the base, doesn't it? Because you don't like that. That's a very good example. He stands out very well from his floating throne. So just going to put my phone down for a second. So I've got an idea how I want him to go, but we'll see as the build progresses. So let's have a look. What have we got? We've got a lot of sprues. Yeah, an awful lot of sprues. So we've got, immediately I'm thinking, yeah, like a cream colour for all the stonework, not grey, that's too dull. These are those little creatures, I'm not keen on them. Yeah, so I'm thinking like, yeah, some sort of cream stone colour. Oh, very good. All very good. I'm also thinking, that once I've done it, I can go off to my local pet shop and go to the aquarium section for additional. There he is. What a great face. He's like a frog version of Jabba the Hutt. Now, looking forward to this. This is going to be nice and colourful. It might get me tempted to have the army. How involved is the build? I'm trying to refrain from my usual moan about Games Workshops. Hopefully there's no toenails to stick on him. Yep, good. It's going to be nice to just get back to a regular styrene kit rather than 3D printed, having to wash off with isopropyl alcohol and make sure it's cured, just snip it off. And we've got two options here. Choose the variant you want to build. Oh, it's got to be that one, hasn't it? I'll wait and see. If that's like some sort of crystal skull, I might be doing that version. Very good. No, it's a stone skull, but I could do that crystal. I'll have a think about it. I'll come back once I've been snipping. Right, I'm underway. Usually when I'm underway, there's a moan or two regarding fiddliness and part fit, but no, I've really enjoyed this, and this is a really
interesting way of going about it. It's not too apparent in the instructions, but their instructions are never too apparent. But it's a kind of like an interlocking system where it's not just two bits stuck together, they go round each other, and it's very interesting, and it hides joins and stuff. And what you're left with for the actual throne is this. This is actually 18 parts make up this. All right, quite incredible. Really enjoyed doing it, and it is incredible. I mean, in here, I mean, you've got a skull there, right? And you've got a background. I don't think you're going to see either of those once the fella's sat in front of it, but they're there. And also that skull is detailed on the other side, but that's sealed up. There's no chance that you'll could ever see that. But so that's really nifty, and I love the detail on this. I'm looking forward to the painting. Look, down here we've got a couple of bowls of grubs for him to eat, and what looks like an octopus there for him to eat. This is going to be such a fantastic painting project. You're given a couple of options. This is one of the options of two of the fronts, so I've chosen this one, and two of these emblems at the top. And I think I'm going to have that like it's a crystal rather than stone. So that's just blue tacked in place. So I'll be picking that out to pick it out. All right. So that's that. And then this is very intricate as well. I'll just show you the map of it. All this, again, it all interlocks together. All right. And that gives you this, which these two large bits are the actual rear of his throne, and this is your vertical support. So this goes onto the base. This is what's holding him up in the air, this bit here. All right. Again, I'm keeping this off for now for ease of painting, because there's no way I could get to the rear of all that. So he's not going to be glued together until the very, very end. Also, that's as far as I've got. Once I've turned the page, I think this vine assembly attaches to this little base, which I haven't stuck on yet, but it attaches to there, which attaches to there, and I think this is taking a bit of the weight as well. All right, you're given an option of 2 blocks there. I don't know why, but you're given a choice of these 2 blocks to stick down there. Right, and then I think, yeah, this one on this side, again, does the same thing of supporting and taking the weight. And again, you've got a choice. You've either got this one, or you've got this one. I'm going with this one, because this one, you've got a fiddly bit that you don't really need. And I don't like fiddly bits that I don't really need. So I'm going with that one. But again, that one and the one that side, I'm going to paint separately, and everything will come together at the end. All right. So I'm almost done here with the first stage. I'm just going to snip these off the sprues and stick them to a bit of cardboard ready for priming. And then when you turn the page, you get to the fella himself. So really enjoying this so far. I haven't got to his toenails yet, so who knows what's going to happen there. But that is to me be commended. That is a fabulous bit of design work and execution. So well done, Games Workshop. Well, that's his floating throne, all put together, mostly with glue, some of it with blue tack, the usual thing, sub-assembly time, because how else are you going to get in there and get to everything, all right? So these 2 support creepers are just blue tacked in place. That little box at the back is blue tacked in place. This has been a lot of fun. This has been more fun than I've had on a Games Workshop kit for a very, very long time. Nothing annoying about it at all. Sometimes it's a bit of a puzzle just how you get the parts to line up. By the way, that's not a massive, great big seam. Well, it is, isn't it? It's a massive gap. That's because the front of the throne is only blue tacked to the back. All right. This is all coming apart, which you'll see shortly. Now, this is a fantastic model. I've loved putting this together. Great fun. And let's bring in the chap himself. Here he is. What a beauty. This skull isn't a crystal skull, but it has got a crystal inside. And there's a big lump of old like kryptonite in there. So the front of it I've blue tacked on because I'm going to be taking that off after priming and painting that up so I don't have to try and get in and do the eyes. And his head is only blue tacked on because how am I supposed to paint that lovely belly with this whacking great big medallion in the way? So his head is just blue tacked on as well. And I'm thinking I might be jacking in my Sylvaneth army and doing Seraphon instead, because these, like happens quite often with Games Workshop things, you look at the photos of them and you go, it's all right. But sometimes the paint jobs put you off. And in the case on the box here, you've got a bright pink one and a bright blue one. But look, they're really quite mean. They're like Velociraptor warriors. Yeah, I'm liking these. I'm liking his bowl of food that he's serving to his master. So yeah, they're very characterful. Got to think of a colour for them that's not pink or bright blue. All right, so primer time. These are getting white to aid my contrast. And tomorrow is Saturday, and I'm going off to my Games Workshop store and getting some of their, what's the name of it? Their fleshy, sandy colour, because I've decided the stonework, I don't want it to be grey, that's too dull. This is going to be a bright model. Yeah, they're going to be like a sandstone sort of colour. All right, so I'll come back with colours applied. Okay, with everything held together with blue tack, I've given everything a coat of grey primer and then white primer. I've had second thoughts on the colour of the stone blocks of the throne. This is going to be a very, very colourful model, and if I've got like a sandy, creamy colour for the stonework, it's going to be I think a bit too bright. I think we need something a bit more what's the word? Not dull, but more subdued. That's the word. As a background for everything that's going to be bright. So I've gone with this ash grey. I think it's an army painter grey called ash grey, and I've just put that on. I'm going to tint it in some way. I'm not quite sure how much yet, but that's that. All right, and as you can see, everything's been taken apart. All right, so like so. Yeah, I'll show you next. This is the base. I'm putting in some colours like the. Can you see, by the way, in there? I'll show you later once it's all painted, but you've got a tiny little lizard in that. There he is, in that hollow of the tree trunk. And then there's another one that I noticed when I was putting on this contrast paint down in there, all right, which is nifty. All the, oh, I can't show you that. I haven't done it on that one. Some of the leaves I'm painting yellow. I'm using mantis green for most of the yellows because that over white, that gives a lovely, bright, vibrant, jungle-like green. And I'm just wondering what it would look like if I put it over yellow. I don't want all the leaves, all the plants to look exactly the same. All right, so I've just blocked that in yellow. There's a bit of the throne is still up there, so I've painted that in the grey. Yeah, that there you go. There's the. That's what you get with the mantis green. Beautiful, isn't it? And at the top, I'll pick some of the leaves out in yellow again. And this, all the vines I've decided are going to be quite dark. And this is militarium green over the white. All right, and I'm going to leave it at that. Let's have a look at the big chap. There's the big chap. What I've done there is, as I say, grey and then over the top sprayed white, but it wasn't white enough, so I've heavily dry brushed him white over the top of that, ready, because he's going to be nearly all contrast paints. And then finally, yeah, the skinks, what to do about the skinks. I've been thinking about it, and I can kind of see why you have light blue lizards in the jungle, because there is just so much greenery, isn't there? So much green and brown. What colour do you do these creatures to make them stand out, right? If they would another green, everything would blend together. You've got to make them stand out. I could go yellow, but that's too close to green. I don't like red with green. It just reminds me of Christmas all the time. So I'm doing what folk have suggested, and I've put this base coat on first. I'm going to darken all the scales down, but I really do like these. They're much better in the flesh stroke plastic than in a photo. They are really quite mean looking. They're always painted up and they look a bit cute. I don't want mine to be cute at all. So yeah, progress has started. I'm off to my games workshop shop shortly to get all the paints. I haven't got any of the paints that I need for this fella. All right, so looking forward to coming back, and by then that will have dried and I can start putting washes on. And yeah, we are well and truly underway here. So I washed the grey with Nuln Oil, and it was all a bit too stark. So what I've done is I've stained it like it's all got mildewy, mossy muck on it. And for that I used, well, you pronounce that because I'm not going to try. All right, so I've done that, and just had fun picking everything out that I'm going to be painting green in white. So that's been good fun. All very therapeutic. It's nice and calm and relaxing doing that. So that's that. Little lizard up there as well. So that's that. Sorry for the pause there. I had to blow my nose. So yeah, that's where I am there. And next is going to I'm going to paint all the vines and creepers. I've seen in some builds these are a much brighter colour. I think these things, or on mine anyway, I'm going to have these as being like the device that actually gets the throne to hover. So these are going to be a metallic-y colour. Not quite sure what yet. I'll see how the colours are going on the throne. Yeah, this fella. Right, I started him off, obviously, taking his head off. And I started it off with a new contrast to me called Gut Ripper Flesh. And I put that all over, but it dried a bit darker than I wanted it to be. So I dry brushed Nurgling Green to lighten him all back up. And now what I've done on his back, on the top of his arms, the front of his legs, and on his claws and feet, and top of his head there, that is Poxwalker. All right, and not quite done there yet. I'm going to go in with even darker colours soon. All right, I'm going to keep away. I'm not going to darken his face anymore. I like his face. I don't want it to get lost in everything. All right, so that's that. And then these little skink fellas. I've got a 2-colour scheme going on, right? Which I think is what everybody does. It's that blue and the scales, that green, right? But last night I just put some Carisberg Crimson in the eye sockets, ready to pick the eye out. Come on. But I quite like them like that. I really like them like that, so I'm keeping them like that. I'm just going to put some gloss varnish over it, and then the little sail things between his head crest. I've just put in some Reichland flesh tone. All right, and I think this is going to be the colour scheme for my skinks. Moving on, you can see I'm just picking out where the gold's going to go with brown. All right, so no, I'm really enjoying this. I've enjoyed the build, and this is a very enjoyable colour scheme. So let's crack on, and I'll come back with more developments soon. I'm really enjoying this. I really am. I'm enjoying that as you put on more colour, the grey goes away. So yeah, just blocking in the big palm leaves that he's using, just sitting on for some reason. Decided that is going to be some fur in there. All right. I've also decided on my Seraphon army, because I guess I am building an army now. There's not going to be any steels. Okay, there's not going to be iron or steel. All the metallics are going to be golds and copper and bronzes. All right. So that's his little bowls done. I've done all the vines. Oh, and yeah, and then we've got the energy things. What I decided to do for the energy things is paint them silver, and this is warp lightning, I think, over the top. And they're quite shiny, but I'm going to shine them up even more with some gloss varnish once they're properly dry. I think next thing is going to be doing all the bone. I've picked out that skull in Screaming Skull, and I'm going to be doing all these horns in that next. All right, so that's coming along. And then the old fella there picked out his gold. Didn't realise until I was doing it that he's actually got a ring there, and he's got a toe ring there. Right, I've just got to do the membranes between his fingers and feet. All right. Oh yeah, and yeah, that's the crystal that's inside the skull. I picked that out in silver. I'm going to have that as a fluorescent green, and nearly done with the head. All right, I'm pretty happy with that. I'm going to gloss these sacks, which I've picked out in Reichland Flesh Tone. I'm going to pick them out. I've done his lip in Carisborg Crimson. I'm going to be glossing that as well, but I've got to do his eyes first before I go in with the gloss. All right, I'm nearly at the point where I can start putting things together. The crystal that's inside the skull is Tesseract Glow, and there's these 4 blobs on the back, which I've picked out in the same colour. So yeah, that's him, and the body pretty much done. All right, his face has been a lot of fun to do. Look at him. What charmer. Yeah, so in a minute I can glue those bits together. What I've done here is I've decided to put the scatter material on. I'm gonna, because I figure once the throne is actually attached and the vines either side which support it, once they're on, I'm not going to be able to get in there to paint. So I've put my scatter material on now, and I'm going to wait for that to dry and then paint all that and finish that. And then once everything's assembled, I can then go round the vine strand bases and just finish that off. And yeah, almost there now with this. I've just got to finish the palm leaf matting off, finish off the bugs or whatever the heck that is going on in there. Some of the moss I've still got to do. I've done all the horns and dirtied them down. And yeah, he's getting nice and colourful now. A few more jewels I've got to pick out on the gold bits, but and one more feather to do in there, and it's going to be done. I'm loving this model. All right, not far off now. I think next time I come back, it will all be done. All I've got to do is like gloss up the bugs and whatever they are in there. A little bit of touching up here and there. These support vines have gone on, so now I've got to put scattered material around there and paint it to match that. But we're nearly there. I've got to do the skink's toenails, and yeah, pretty much done. And here he is all done, when he can stay in focus. Yeah, I had great fun. Great fun doing this model. Most fun I've had doing a games workshop kit in many a year. So yeah, it's now going to be a case of bye-bye Sylvaneth, hello Seraphon. Loved it. Yeah, so let's go get some more.